Welcome back. In this demonstration we're going to use the drawing that you finished as homework to create your Intaglio print plate. This foam plate, we're going to take our drawing and put it on top and trace over our drawing in order to get the drawing transferred onto our foam plate. We will then use the foam plate to print our Intaglio prints. Before we get started, I just want to show you a student version of what this might look like if you do it wrong. Okay, on this version you can see that I've done a nice job of pulling my stylus in the proper direction, making sure that I have about like a 30-degree angle between the print plate and the stylus as I pull. Whereas this student example, this student started to pull with their stylus kind of vertical like this and start to pick at it. And what will happen is you'll see that the foam has kind of frayed up and been like destroyed and ruined there. And what you want, and I mean you can even see that like through here it started to like just get chunked out of the print plate altogether. So while you're doing this, you want to make sure you're always pulling your stylus gently and you're going over the same line at least 3 or 4 times. Okay, so to get started, bring me your drawing when the video is completed, and I will make sure that it's going from side to side, top to bottom. You've got nice simple lines and nice looking textures. And once you get the okay from me, use your scissors and cut out your picture. Throw away the outside of it. And this part will be attached then to your foam plate, which somebody will pick up for your table. Check both sides and look to see which one is the nicest. This one is the nicest. This one has a few little dings on the back of it. So I'm going to use this side, and I'm going to tape my Intaglio print drawing on top. You'll need about 2 pieces of tape. 1, 2. And these 2 pieces of tape will be taped to the corners of your drawing. Now if you have a horizontal image, you're going to want to line it up here. If you've got a vertical image, line it up this way. And tape your drawing, tape the front, and bend that piece of tape over the back so that you create a hinge here that you can lift your drawing up and down. Okay? Before you start tracing, flip your foam plate over and gently write your name on the back. I'm Mr. Lundgren. So I'm going to write Lundgren on the back. You write your name and write your grade section. Maybe this is 4B, and then write your homeroom teacher. Okay, this will serve as a little guide for how to draw on the back of your print plate. Then, with your drawing, trace over all your lines. Press gently so that you can feel the foam kind of squishing underneath your print plate, but don't press so hard that you're destroying your paper. Now, if you do destroy your paper, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to like throw them out at the end anyways. But try your best not to poke through, because you don't want to leave any huge mars in your print plate. Then, as you're tracing, sometimes we forget where we have traced and where we have not. So if you do forget or you're not sure, you can always peel this up and look for the outlines. You can kind of see, if I block the light there, you can see that little outline. It's very faint, but still there, and I can say, okay, I got all that stuff done. Now I'm going to work on this other side, tracing my line gently and tracing these lines gently. Now mine is just about off the edge of this, so I'm going to just kind of redo my talons to make them fit onto my print plate. So you can kind of see them there, and then I'm just going to readjust this rock a little higher so that it fits on my print plate. Lift this up, double check, good. I missed these feather lines, and the circles, put a couple circles on, and that should do it. once you finish with your outline, show me. I will look at it and I will okay that it is complete and it's ready to go on. Now, I'm going to turn this light off so you can see the lines a little better with the dimmer light. Then, once you've gotten the okay from me in class, take your drawing off and we'll work just on the print plate. Now, with your print plate, again, like I said, you want to hold your stylus on like a 30-degree angle, something like this. Not vertical like this, but on much of an angle. This will help your print plate lines get deeper easier. So you just take your line that's already there and trace over. Go slow, go gently, and what I'm going to do is each time I pull, I press down a little bit harder until my stylus goes all the way through. And it should look something like this. You can kind of see that deep line in there. Now, I'm going to continue over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my plate around so that I can get a nice angle on each time. And you should go over each line at least 3 times, if not 4 or 5 times. And each time you pass over it, you're pressing down just a little bit harder, but making sure that you're being gentle enough that you're not destroying or ripping the foam as you draw. Okay, you don't want to rip that foam as you're drawing. Now, if we're in class, you can fast forward this. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just fast forward to the end and you can see what the final product looks like. But you want to go slow in class, check in with me to make sure that all the lines are done correctly. I will be the final judge in class whether or not your lines are deep enough. Every year, kids come up to me with their drawing and they're like, okay, Mr. Lundgren, I'm done. And I look at their drawing and it's just like a tracing outline. You want to make sure that you trace your drawing and then you get each line nicely, deeply incised onto your print plate. If you don't incise those lines deep enough, your print won't come out and it'll look like some of the examples I show you in the next video when I'm printing. Okay, and it's very important that you do this part nicely so that when you get to the print part and you're actually printing with the ink, there's no question that your drawing will come out nicely. Because if you don't do these lines deep enough, you'll just get a big blobby mess of a picture and it won't look like what you want it to look like. You know, hedgehog will end up looking like a big blob. A bird might just end up kind of looking like a mouse or something else. You know, you have to really do nice, careful drawing. Okay, now getting these little talons done might be difficult to get the detail, so I'm just going to do the best I can. Remember, go over it at least 3 times. You can even see how I'm going over these little talons like 6, 7, 8 times just to make sure that they're nicely, neatly drawn in there. Now, going back up to the texture on the belly, rather than drawing those little circles, I'm just going to take the back of my stylus here and I'm going to make some little circle shapes for the texture. I'm going to kind of spread them out. like that, but I will need to draw in the curved lines for the feathers, unfortunately. And as you're probably observing, curved lines are harder than straight lines, because that curve where you change the direction of your tool, it really makes the difference for tearing the print plate apart. You can kind of see how I rotate in my hand the stylus from down to up. Like that. Okay, so I would call this print plate finished now. One thing I like to tell kids in class, and of course I won't be able to exactly show it to you here, but if you look through your print plate, and you can almost see it right here, you should be able to see the lines coming through the back. If I turn my lamp on this way, you might be able to, no, you can't see it. You should be able to hold your print plate up to the light, and you should see the lines coming through to the back of the print plate. That will mean that they're deep enough and you'll see them in your print plate. Okay, and that's how to finish incising the lines into your Intaglio print plate.